here at Four Seasons Claypot Rice in Yau Ma Tei. This is going to be the first stop on the Yau Ma Tei Claypot Rice tour. So this is the second Claypot Rice video I'm making, but because there are so many good options here in Hong Kong, I decided to make another video. I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing that's come to our table is the deep fried oyster cake. This is the small size, so we only have 2 pieces. Got a nice look of the crispy batter there, and you can see the oysters inside. And they do serve it with some chili sauce, which I'll put on the side for later. So I'm just breaking a little bit of the piece off. As you can see, the nice oyster there with the batter coating it. So let's try it without the sauce, just on its own. Very fresh oysters, and then because it's just freshly cooked, has a very nice crispy batter, very hot still on the inside. And overall very fresh with oyster. It has the perfect amount of seasoning, but let's just try it with a bit of chili sauce. Try this bite with some chili. No, the chili is not very spicy, more of a salty kind of chili paste. But you get that nice fresh flavor from the oyster, that nice crisp from the batter. So overall, I really enjoy this one. And here we have the vegetable we ordered, which is the tong choy with fermented bean curd paste. Very popular option and something which you always get. So let's just mix the bean curd paste with the tong choy. This is quite salty, so you need to make sure you mix it in quite well. I'll just get here from the top some nice pieces of tong choy. With a really nice salty flavor from the paste, but when it's coated in the vegetables, you get that nice crisp from the vegetables themselves. Yeah, you really need to mix it. You need to mix it quite well, or else it'll be too salty. But when you get the nice bite, it's a very nice combination for your vegetables. And the Claypot rice has arrived. So here we have the liver sausage and chicken Claypot rice. Very steaming hot. And like in most Claypot rice places, they have their own special blend of soy sauce. So here they also have theirs. So let's give it a nice, generous drip of some soy sauce. Just mix it all very generously with the soy sauce. So this is what the final output is going to look like. I'll start with a bit of the rice coated in the soy sauce first. The soy sauce is quite smoky, quite sweet, so not very savory, not very salty. So when you mix it within the rice, I think it's okay to be generous with it because it is the main seasoning element, the main flavor element of the Claypot rice. You get that nice sweet smoky sauce, and then just a very nice hot steaming rice. Let's try some of the meat. Here we have some chicken. So chicken and sausage is a very popular combination in Claypot rice, so that's what I went for. Let's try the pieces of the chicken first. Just very soft, flavorful pieces of chicken. You can tell why it's a popular option in Claypot rice. Just a nice meaty flavor, a little bit of saltiness, and then a bit of fattiness as well. Let's try the liver sausage. Obviously you can get 2 different kinds of sausages. The more red Chinese sausage, and this one is darker. This is the liver sausage. I want to try this one, so here, let's have a bite. Very smoky. You can taste the iryness of the liver. Not very strong. It's just like a typical sausage, very smoky, very nice, sweet flavor actually, not very savory. But when you balance it with the savoriness of the chicken and the sweetness of the sausage with the rice, you can tell why it's a really nice combination. And this is the second variant of Claypot rice. This is sliced pork with marinated white cabbage, just drenched in the same sauce. So I think I'll try the meat first. Nice sliced pieces of pork. Quite similar to the chicken actually, because they have that nice meaty flavor. the texture is quite similar, but I think the pork has a bit more chew to it. But yeah, they're quite similar, so I think you can guess why one would opt for this or that. I'm going to try the white cabbage also. Check for some preserved cabbage. Yeah, that's the salty preserved flavor you'll get from the preserved vegetables. And yeah, overall very nice combination as well. It's a good alternative to try. Go ahead and get your Claypot rice pick. Of course, those nice charred bits of rice under. Just that crispy bite, a bit of crust. Give this a bite as well. There's a nice contrast of texture compared to the rest of the rice, which is quite smooth and soft. This one is the crispy, chewy part under. So it's a very favorite part of people when you eat Claypot rice is the crust. So I really enjoy it also. So right now we're in the second spot of our Claypot rice tour here in Yau Ma Tei Temple Street. We're in Hing Kee. Hing Kee is right along the road to Four Seasons, and as you can see they have several branches in the same area. So right now we're in one of the smaller ones. We're not exactly in like the main restaurant itself, but it's still the food is just right across, so you know it's quite fresh when they bring it to us. So similar to our meal in Four Seasons, we ordered two different Claypot rice dishes. We ordered the oyster cake and then the tong choy with the fermented bean curd. That's like the classic Claypot rice dishes. So yeah, excited to try out the second place of the Claypot rice tour. So this is one of the classic Hong Kong street food drinks, the shandy, combination of Blue Girl and Sprite, filled to the brim with bubbles. So the first of our dishes has arrived. This is the small oyster cake. Small in size, but actually pretty big already in terms of the serving. It comes with a bit of sauce on the side. I'll try this out later. And then here we have the tong choy with the fermented bean curd. Also another favorite of ours when having Claypot rice. So let's have a nice piece of the oyster cake. Ooh, freshly fried. As you can see, it also has some veg in there. Looks like some green onions and nice pieces of oyster mixed in it as well with the batter. Very light batter, but let's try this out without any of the sauce first. I think the oysters are like a bit smaller in size compared to in Four Seasons, but they're quite generous with the amount of oysters. And then because it's mixed in with those green onions, there's like also crunch, two kinds of crunch from the batter, of course, and then from those green onions also they had that nice crunch mixed in with the oysters. Pretty good. Now I'll try it with a bit of the sauce. So here's it with a bit of the sauce. Sort of like a sweet chili, not exactly spicy, but it has like a savoriness, a bit of sweetness as well. Interesting touch to the oyster cake. Now before the rice arrives, let's have some of this tong choy. Soak it in all the fermented bean curd sauce, and then as you can see some chilies. Just got that classic fermented bean curd flavor. Not overly salty. I think this is more of a diluted version of it, but same, really same flavor profile and same nice crunch from the vegetables. These are like two of the classic companions that you can have with Claypot rice, which is we're just waiting for the Claypot rice to arrive right now. It's also important to have a shandy along with it. Cheers. So here we have the Claypot rice reveal. Ooh. So this is the beef with the foie gras sausage, which they call it. And the second one is some pork with some octopus. And they also serve their own Claypot rice soy sauce, which most places do. It's their own special blend. So we're gonna be adding this to the Claypot rice now. the soy sauce mixed into all that clay pot rice goodness. I want to begin by just trying some of the rice itself while it's hot. Oh. Straight away you can taste that really smoky aroma from the clay pot, and it's got that nice, the soy sauce has like a nice balance of sweetness and savoriness. It's not favoring one direction too much. It's got a good balance between those flavors. But the rice is really smoky. You can taste that in, this is my second bite. That was just my first bite, but the smokiness of the clay pot rice was really, it's really the main profile, flavor profile which I'm getting right away. Now we've got a nice slice of the beef. I'll try this out. Oh, really thin and tender pieces of beef, very moist as well. I think they just cooked it for a really short time because they're these thin chunks of beef, but really, really good. And here is the foie gras sausage. So it should be tasting a bit livery because of course it's foie gras. Let's try this out. Yeah, very similar to the sausage which I had in Four Seasons. Has a nice earthiness and liveriness to it. Not very strong livery flavor, but it is a good topping to have with your clay pot rice. Really good. And here's the second clay pot rice dish, the octopus and the pork. Let's get a bit of the pork with the rice. Ooh. Yeah, the rice and the smokiness is definitely still there. And the pork, different kind of flavor. It's a bit more fatty compared to the toppings in the first one. It is good and a nice accompaniment. And I'll try a bit of the octopus now. This time I'll get more of the octopus in the bite. Here we go. Oh, nice saltiness to the octopus. More salty than the pork. Adds that bit of fishy flavor to it, but it contrasts really well with the meatiness and then a bit of fishiness from the octopus. Really good clay pot rice here. In this bite, we have some burnt bits, Nick. Those crispy bits under the clay pot rice. Oh. There's a char overload with those crispy bits soaked in the clay pot rice, soy sauce. Really good, nice texture contrast to the soft and mushy rice. Get that nice crispy layer underneath. And look at that nice crunchy bit right there. Whoa.